So Liz, good to see you again. Last time I saw you was at KubeCon, where you did a little talk on the Portworx booth with other members of the community. Today you were talking about another open source aspect, which is important to all of us, right? How to make money from open source, but in a way that is cohesive with the values of open source itself. And to bring that to life, you explained two analogies, which I hadn't heard before. One is an animal-based and one is another outdoor-based one. But rather than steal your thunder, do you want to share with us what those analogies were?
Yeah, so the first one I have to thank Duffy for, which is that open source software is free, like a puppy is free. Somebody gives you a puppy, there might not be an upfront cost, but you will be spending money on food, you'll be spending time walking the dog, picking up after the dog, or maybe you could pay a dog walker to do some of that for you. And in the same way, open source software, it might not cost you any money up front, but you've got to maintain it, you've got to keep updating it, and you could do that yourself, you can invest in that, or maybe you pay a vendor for a commercial distribution of that code. And then the other analogy that I really like is that open source is a bit like a campfire. So maybe a group of people go and collect some firewood and somebody can light that fire and they welcome other people to sit around the fire. So fire itself is an open source project and you can build a community around that fire. But you can also maybe add value over the top of it, like perhaps you toast some marshmallows for people. And you can't charge money for the campfire itself, the open source project itself, but you can charge money for adding value on top, like the marshmallows. So I quite like that analogy, particularly because of the community aspect of it.
Absolutely. I mean, fire is something that's brought people together since we know people, right? So that's a brilliant analogy. You also have re-released your book. Yes. Right? A rewrite, a revision. How long has it been since the last version was
So,
released?
this is the second edition of Container Security. The first edition, I believe it says copyright 2020. It's been a few years, and quite a few things have changed in the meantime. So, when I wrote the first edition, we didn't really talk about supply chain security. GitOps was not really established, and although the fundamentals of containers haven't changed, there have been a few sort of underlying changes like C groups v2. So it really felt like it was time to give it a refresh. There's a couple of new chapters and it's out now. I haven't seen the physical copy yet, but the electronic copy is available already.
I'm sure you'll be signing them in no time. It really speaks to the velocity in this part of the industry. So great to see you.
Thank you very much. Pleasure.